Joe said something last night that tickled my soul. He gonna say, I guess MM felt like I'm leaving here with something.
I'm leaving here with something.
Hello, my loves. Welcome back to our channel. Thank you so much for joining me again. I'm your girl, Intisar Eleanor. I'm joined by my beautiful husband, Joseph Conner, and we are back on the Conner's couch. Today, since I've been talking to y'all about my pregnancy, I had a Ruben. Today, I made sure that meat was cooked with a tea.
Do people not cook the Rubens, though?
No, you just got to make I mean, they do. But I just wanted to make sure because it's deli meat.
Yeah, right. I thought they said not to eat deli meat.
They did say that, but they said you gotta cook it though.
Okay, well,
you can eat it.
Do that again,
but it gotta be warm.
Oh, okay.
You can eat it, but it gotta be warm. The point I'm trying to make is that I don't know what they put in there. I don't know where they got that sauerkraut, that pastrami, the mammy onions from.
This is gonna be your last one.
Don't make me cry. Joe, I haven't had an appetite. So, like, the fact that I went out and said, I need a sandwich, fee, fi, fo, fum, that was a big deal.
That's what you said.
I was hungry.
I know.
The point is, we talking about Married at First Sight today, y'all. All they did was embarrass me all night. This ain't going to be long because the truth of the matter is, it was an embarrassment.
It was just unserious.
It was wildly unserious.
And we're going to treat it with the same unseriousness that they did.
It's just crazy. They jump right in. They're having a conversation. Madison is having a conversation with Michelle, actively gaslighting her.
Yes.
Into believing that Michelle is the reason why Madison and David are together.
But the only grace I'm going to give Madison is what they say. Drunk kids and angry people will tell you the truth. Madison was, first of all, clearly drunk. She let slip. She was drunk. But David clocked it. He said, "Oh, she drunk. Don't start this."
No, he was talking about
Madison.
I thought he was talking about Michelle being
Madison.
saucy.
Madison was drunk. She even claimed it the next day. She said, "I'm so hungover," or whatever.
She did.
She was wasted, and she let slip that Michelle said to her at some point, "He ain't my man. He ain't never gonna be my man. I don't give a damn about him." Blah blah blah. Which is what we have been saying for the entirety of the season. So Madison, part of the energy that Madison was giving her was stop acting like you care.
I'm going to be honest. This entire episode really bothered me. I think it's partially because why are we centering Madison and David?
Because they need more content to film. They set these dates up, all of these outings, the ice cream date, the steakhouse date. They set this stuff up. And I honestly think it's because they need content to film. They need a couple. Madison and David is the only couple outside of Camille and Thomas.
And what's going to happen is that they're going to be the only couple left.
I know.
Watch. Y'all putting them on all these dates and everything like that. Almost as if y'all think y'all redeeming yourself from the season. It's very odd. The whole situation is odd to me.
Yeah, and unserious.
But I'm glad Michelle stood her ground. Like, listen, like, who are you mad at? It's weird to me that David and Michelle think that they can take a stance of defense offense, defense. I always get them wrong. I do. The idea that they are the ones with the grievance is odd to me.
Yeah, I think Madison said something at some point. Full stop. I don't disagree that Michelle was pouring too much on it because I do think that was a part of Madison's frustration. Like, girl, slow up. Like, you told me verbatim that you don't even give a damn about this man. But I also think that Madison said something weird where she was like, well, why don't the couples aren't supporting us like they support whoever she was talking about? And I said,
But that's what I'm saying. Something is you're mentally ill. Yeah. You can't be in these spaces, blow up someone's life, do these things, and then to believe that you're supposed to be treated the same exact way.
Yeah.
It's almost like, but that's a level of privilege I haven't been able to attain.
Because you're not a white woman.
It's wild to me. So they just supposed to forget. And the thing about the Michelle thing, It's not a matter if I wanted to be with that man or not. You didn't want to be with your man. And you chose to do something real dirt dog. Y'all mad at me because I was being honest with y'all the whole time. I didn't like him, and I thought he was this, and I thought he was that. I was being honest.
But she wasn't being honest.
She was being mean.
She was being cruel. She was sneaking it. She was playing it like she was, and I think that's why they was like, "Don't put too much sauce on it, Michelle."
She was being cruel, but at the crux of it, we knew where she stood. Madison was trying to, feed us bullshit with game sprinkled on it, and that's just. And to me, that's what makes it. Y'all are different in that regard. You know what I mean? Because you're right. Yes, Madison, everybody knew it wasn't lasting. That doesn't mean you get to go and blow it up yourself. You don't get to come in and blow my shit up just because I got something going on here. How do that sound?
Yeah.
Child, they go on a date to the tattoo parlor.
Oh, the other date.
The producers flash back to Madison and David having a conversation about him getting his tattoo covered up and how it would be a cute date.
Which I don't know why that would be a date.
The bar's in hell. What's clear to me is that you've been dipping and doing, and y'all trying to pull the wool over our eyes like, oh, this didn't happen, but y'all all cozy just 2 days outside of decision day.
Yeah, they definitely comfortable. I haven't seen anybody on the show hug and kiss as much as Madison and David have in the past, like just 2 episodes.
Not near one. Juan, leave Carla alone with your antics. You've been fake all season, okay?
First of all, the way you just jumped to that.
Sorry. I'm sorry, y'all. I didn't take my vitamins today, so I got T-minus 27 minutes to get this done. Juan want to talk to Carla about what's going on and how you doing? Can we be friends? Can we go to coffee? No.
I ain't gonna lie. I'm the biggest. We don't need closure. We don't need to talk. We don't need to be friends. Like, I'm the biggest. We don't need to be friends X in the world. I just think, so I'm totally with you on that. I just think Juan also looked like he didn't know what to do with his hands. Like, they were supposed to film in this moment, and he had to come up with conversation to say, because what was happening? Like, he was like, I guess I can get my stuff and leave now.
I do think it was part awkward. That. I do think it was
doing?
Part that, but the problem is, sit in your silence. Like Carla wouldn't have gave him anything. He would have been looking like the door is closed. Yeah. The door is closed. We don't have anything to talk about. Like, you know what I mean? But the door is closed not because of me, but because of you. So all this, maybe we can get coffee sometimes. We can never get coffee. As a matter of fact, I don't even drink coffee anymore. So now what?
Yeah.
I'm off it. I'm done with it.
Do anything.
I just find Juan's attempt to be nice as disingenuous. Like saving face. I don't know if disingenuous is the right word, but it's like saving face.
I honestly felt like he was just trying to be nice.
Yeah, don't be, but the problem is that, like, don't be nice. Be yourself.
I think that
you know what I mean?
But I do feel like that's Juan. I do feel like he's that type of person. Like, because he said something like, I don't think, he wasn't talking to her at this point. And he was talking to somebody else, and he was just like, we're not beefing. Like, I don't think it needs to, I think we can still be cordial and things like that. So I don't think he doesn't strike me as the smoke guy. He's never going to walk into a room like Ikechi and people be like, uh-oh. Like, I don't think that's him.
No, and I don't think, but the problem is, Joe, you don't have to be one or the other. There is a world where you can show up as yourself, and it doesn't have to be advertised as nice and goody and this and that. You could just be yourself. You could just live in your truth. We are not together. That's cool. I don't have to overextend anything. You know what I mean?
I'm with that. I don't believe in closure.
And I do believe, part of me believes that Juan was probably put up to it. Carla probably came in and didn't say anything to him.
Yeah.
Part of me does believe that, but I think to take it a step further and then ask her, can we get coffee? I just thought, like, whoa, what's going on here?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, slow down. I don't know. I thought that was a bit presumptuous. You know what I mean? Thomas and Camille move in together.
And it was awkward as hell, but they did it. So
why you
proud
say
of
it
them.
was awkward?
It was just awkward because he was visibly uncomfortable. I think he was also nervous about, her accepting his space and his standard of living. And the fact that he lived a different life before he was a married man. We've all done it. You know what I'm saying? Zar came to my bachelor pad, had a problem with everything. The red couch got to go. The mug got to go.
Yo,
the plates got to go.
What was the thing that had to go first, though? Tell them what had to go first.
What had to go first? The couch.
Joe had a shower curtain that said Joe Conner on it.
It was the least. First of all, y'all have seen my logo before.
Yo, the entire bathroom said Joe Conner. I was like,
it was a shower curtain with my logo on.
But y'all ever see the
too much on
scene?
it.
You ever see the scene when the people go into the bathroom? It's like, it's like a horror movie. That's how I felt every time I had to shower.
I promise y'all that my bathroom looked far better than Thomas's bathroom.
No, it did, and it was bigger. But that's not the point. That's not the point.
She putting too much on it.
The point is
honestly, the red futon was worse than the shower curtain.
The red futon lasted all of 27 hours.
2 minutes.
It was literally in the house. I got there, put my bags down. I said, we will be going furniture shopping. We went furniture shopping before I went and got a car.
But this is what Thomas was afraid of. Being judged for living his single life and just going about his way in the world.
No, I wasn't mad. You tried to make it look like a home for when I got there. But
that's all you can do when you are, blending lives. Like, you don't know what you don't know. You know what I mean? Especially as a man who's never lived with a woman before, right? Which I think that's Thomas. That was me. You know what I mean? I had never lived with a woman before. So I didn't know what to expect. I didn't know, you know what I mean? And I just was doing what I had to do. I only needed a futon. So I had a red futon. I didn't need a couch. What do I need a couch for? A whole couch and a futon laid down. It could be a bed. It could be all these other things. So Thomas didn't want to be judged for just not knowing what he didn't know.
Yes.
I could feel. I could feel his.
Oh, so you had been there.
Oh, 100%.
Did you feel like I was judging you at the time?
1,000%.
Oh, I wasn't judging you.
Yes, she was. You like, that gotta go. This gotta go. That's ugly. I don't know why you bought that.
I did do all of that,
like,
but that's not the point.
Christ.
I did do all of that, but in the moment, I wasn't being judgmental. Because what I did appreciate is that when I got there, I felt like comfortable. Like, I didn't feel like we had to run out and get stuff. I felt like, all right, we can grow into this or whatever.
And I feel like that's what he was trying to do. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, he had figured out the fob situation. You can have the fob. I'll do the key, do whatever.
He had figured a lot out.
Right. And I could tell that he wants to do his best. But I also felt like he was a little bit ashamed of his space. You know what I mean?
Aww.
So it was a little awkward to watch because I'm like, I'm also like, don't even waste time on judging this place up. Just find someplace else. Because Camille, like, well, we could fix that and do this. And I'm like, don't even. The place is physically too small. You can just tell they don't even have room for side tables in the bedroom. You know what I mean? Like, it just looks too small for two adults.
But what if it's in a really nice neighborhood? But that's why what?
Chicago's expensive.
Yeah,
you know
that's what I mean. That's what I mean.
So it's like, I'm not even. It's no judgment, no shade on Thomas. It's expensive. He was probably paying $3,000 for the place. You know what I mean? It was a 1-bedroom.
And the truth is, they're going to save a ton of money because if she come in and she don't have to pay no rent, they're rich.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like, she was paying her own rent somewhere else and doing her thing or whatever the case may be. So now she able to do that. They up.
Yeah.
I kind of like that Thomas and I was very proud of them for moving in with each other. And I think it's temporary. So I think to be close in a newlyweds. If you're going to be close, now's the time to do it.
Now you're going to be close. And kudos to Camille because she was just like,
she was going with the flow.
Let's do it. You know, she just kept a good attitude about it. And I think that he needed that too.
Yeah, I like that. I really did. It made me feel like, is he growing into the man that we all want him to be?
1,000%. When he says something during the episode where he says something to the effect of, she's like the woman that I always dreamed of. I believed him. Oh, like I didn't think it was just like slick boy talk or anything like that. I believe this is exactly what he's always wanted. Somebody like Camille, he wants to build a family. You know, he comes from family. And his brother has a beautiful family. So that got to be a little bit triggering every time he's over there. And he's with his brother's family. And they got the same face. So that's awkward too.
That's got to be mad weird.
You know what I mean? So I believe that like this is what he wants. And so it was also nice to see that like this is seeds being planted here, you know?
Madison tells her dad about dating somebody else's husband.
That's
what happened. And at first I was annoyed with the dad for not giving her more smoke. Like, that's wrong. You should be ashamed of yourself. So 2 things. I respect that he defended her right to be wrong. Okay? Because y'all know how I am.
Mr. Defender of the
I'm
of
going
the
to
wrong
defend you
right.
to the death. You girl, you
So
murder
you
him.
can't have a problem with
Okay,
him.
well, what he do to you?
I was about to say, let it be your child.
Right. So I understood it. You know what I mean? But I do think that it's a testament to how unserious he thought this whole thing was. Because if it's me and you, we're married for however long we're married for. We put this person out into the world and they do some stuff like that. I would be disappointed.
I could tell he thought it was unserious because the first thing he said was, "What's this, David? We never heard about him before."
He literally
Said,
did.
"Ooh, this is awkward."
But it's also a testament to how she get down. She's looking more open and open with every conversation.
And I think he's used to that. I'm not gonna lie. When I made the comment about this is what the party girl got an issue with, right?
Right.
It was because she never gave that she wasn't in the streets and for the streets and by the streets.
She never
gave that vibe. And I think the dad is basically coming from the same place. Like, this is kind of tricks.
This and Brandon situation.
It's nauseating. We could get right into it. It's nauseating and it's silly. And I'm going to say this. I don't want this for MM.
At all.
I'm going to start from there. I think that for MM, it's not a good look. When we talked about moving on and that being the greatest revenge, this ain't what we was talking about.
This is not. And you know what? I want this whole... I have so much to say, and I got to get stuff out while it's on my brain. A lot of y'all was in our comments mad at us because I said I want Luther King to go to bed. And the reason why I want you to go to bed because you don't know how you feel.
Right.
See, a lot of times y'all be wanting to fly off the handle and crash out and everything. And as much as I want y'all to have the space to do that, when you keep doing that towards someone and just not having a crash out moment, you know what I mean, in a breakout room, but you're doing that towards someone, that eventually gets to be looking at you like, now, wait a minute now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, let's back up. She had on more than one occasion the opportunity to air Ikechi out. I don't know what show y'all were watching, but this went all the way back to when she had on the cape, the church cape.
Yes.
Okay?
Yes. Which was like 4 weeks ago. The church cake Easter outfit was like over a month ago. Just for context.
Exactly. So by that time, by the time we get to the end where you say you wrote a letter for closure, that should have been closure. But this is why closure is not a real thing.
Right.
Because the idea, I could believe somebody comes into your space and that they trigger you. Do not get me wrong. But I also am of the belief like, it's been 8 weeks. If we are being honest, you have been in this man's face for 3. And I'm being generous.
Yes.
I'm being generous, okay? So my thing is he's made himself ghost. We've seen it.
Yeah.
So for me, it's like not how you could be this mad, but at the point in which you've written a letter and done all these things, you don't feel like, you know what? When I fall up off this earth, in the real of my life, I don't want me speaking to you to be something that come across my eyes.
Right. But also, somebody told me one time when I used to crash out regularly, why would you give them this? Why would you give them this? Right? You looking a fool, you acting a fool. Somebody said when you in an argument with the fool, the problem is that people can't tell the difference between who's the fool and who's not.
And that's what I've been trying to get at. And the truth is, there could be a moment where I could truly be wrong. But because you're crashing out in this regard, how we going to get to it?
Yeah.
We ain't.
But,
and the truth is, you might not want to get there.
Right. But now multiply that by millions of viewers.
Child.
This is happening on TV. So when I say, like, I didn't want that for her, like, because also what allegation she's not beating in all of those crash outs is the answer stick allegation. Because guess what Akechi is doing every time she's crashing out? This.
He's not even responding back.
He's just sitting there silent. So when he crashed out and was talking about you beating him with the answer stick, and then we get episode after episode after episode of you like literally crashing out on this man and him not even reacting to you, it just doesn't look good. It just doesn't look good. Like, I understand how people want certain things for certain people, and we want to, be on the side of moral get back and everything like that. But that's not how the world works. Everything that should be is not always what is. And all of those extra crash outs just wasn't a good look. The same way that her finding a man just hours later and then getting engaged to him is also not a good look, especially on the heels of Ikechi literally saying weeks ago, I feel like she just wanted a put in place husband. I feel like they could have gave her anybody and she would have wanted to marry them.
You was literally just crying in the bathroom of Juan's place of business
12 days ago.
So let's take a step back. Let's talk about Mr. What's his name?
I don't even know his name. He wasn't here long enough for me to remember it.
I think his name was Brandon. This is what we know of Mr. Brandon. Mr. Brandon is a very handsome man. He's tall. He has 2 children, still married, not divorced yet, and he lived on his sister's couch.
This was supposed to be the flex. But this what y'all want for her? Y'all can't be kinfolk.
But this what y'all want for her?
Y'all can't be kinfolk. Y'all can't be kinfolk. When I say I don't want certain looks for this is what I'm talking about. I don't want my sister to go out like this. This is not a flex.
And Joe, that's really what it is. The truth of the matter is, y'all mad because we're telling the truth.
Period.
Y'all really sick about it, okay? Because nobody sat up in your face and told you look like a plum fool.
Right.
And we're here to do it with love. I wouldn't dare, I'm not ever telling you nothing off the strength of being mean about it or whatever the case may be. I'm saying this out of love. What are we doing? He's sleeping on his sister's couch. So let's go back to the pathology of this, right? The ideology or whatever. More the ideology of this. I believe that you could be getting a divorce and divorce somebody prior to, you're divorced from them before you sign papers.
1,000%, but also divorces take a long time, right? Regular divorces can take a long time. This is not that.
My thought process is at the point at which, because I've done it too. I knew I was going to separate from my ex months before I moved to LA. You know what I mean? But I knew I was going to separate from him months before that. You know what I mean? Him and I had already been starting to talk about things and dissolve things and everything like that. And I did go back and live with my mom for a little bit. And I'm trying to give him the benefit of the doubt. But then I went and lived on my own. The plan was always for me to live on my own. The reason why I went and lived with my mom is because there was no point in me getting my own place. I had already had planned to be moving out of the city by this specific date, right? I feel like he has 2 kids. If you have 2 kids and you living on your sister's couch, I take issue with that. Where do the kids go?
Not only that, but I take issue with it is what you're talking about takes time, right? Making arrangements, planning, finding your own place. Y'all not even in the same situation. He's so fresh from a divorce. He hasn't even had time to find his own place.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm getting at.
What are we talking about?
Rambling. That's exactly what I'm getting at. I feel like it's, and not unserious. I think there's a place to which he could be in love with her. It's giving Walter. Do y'all remember Walter, Kenya Moore? They said Kenya Moore hired this man to date her on TV.
Oh, that's terrible.
And his name was Walter. And that's what this whole situation is giving me.
Yeah, I don't know Walter or that situation, but it sounds like a hired gun. It sounds like he's a background actor.
Because everything about it feels...
forced, fake, Tyler Perry.
Yes.
What is this?
It don't even feel... Because I believe you could have a whirlwind romance. Don't get me wrong. Listen, y'all know I'm a hopeless romantic. That's not what this feels like.
That's not what this feels like, but also... That's not whatever that thought it was giving is not.
It's giving cringe out the back.
It was super cringy. Even the whole so in 12 days, you got over your ex who you was just crashing out about regularly, found another man, fell in love with this other man, and now got engaged to him.
But you know how, but that's what I'm saying, y'all. When I said she shouldn't even have gave him none of that energy, then we would have been like, oh, was moved on.
Right.
She was done.
Right.
You know what
right.
I mean? Now the narrative is, see what I'm saying? All she want is anybody could have filled that spot.
But that's what don't give them the satisfaction means, right? Like Ikechi was building the case.
Yes, the entire time.
And now you're just giving it to him. You're giving him every crash out when he talks about the answer stick. You building that case, you helping him build that case. And then he literally has a whole session with the therapist where he talks about how I feel like it could have been anybody. She not really into me. She just wanted a body here.
Right.
And then you literally go find a body in 12 days. You go find a body and then you're in love with him.
I think this kind of disappointed me.
It was sad because I don't want to see her go out like this.
It
This
was
is
sad
not what
in that
moving on
regard.
is.
And she might like, listen, you might be with this man from now to the rest of your life. So,
won't.
and I love that for you. I think it's more along the lines of what in the actual hell is going on?
It's just not a good look.
But then the way Camille and Carla are at her apartment.
Also that.
She talking about this man. They show up. I mean, then he shows up.
Which was orchestrated. That's what I mean by this is not the flex that you think it is.
Truth is untied.
It's just not the flex that you think it is. So you orchestrated. You had your girlfriends come over knowing that you were going to go on a date and leave them in your house?
What?
It's just weird.
It is weird. And I feel like if this man got all this money to go out, buy rings, wear Prada down to the socks, take you on these dinners, give the dog treats, why he don't got no place to live?
How about that?
Why he don't got no place to live? I too believe that Chicago is expensive. Why that man ain't got no place to live?
It's just not.
He got two kids.
It's just.
So what you gonna hate him and his two kids all up in your house?
He hasn't even had time to figure out what he doing with the kids. So you don't know what's going on with them kids.
But also but another part of this is, and I mean this with all due respect, y'all the kind of parents that just be marrying people and not letting y'all kids meet the kids and
how about that?
Seeing how the kids feel about it and
Who
everything.
marries a person has zero relationship with it from what we know of, because this is what you televise. And let me be clear, I'm not even saying that she shouldn't go out with the man, that she shouldn't explore things.
I'm not
with this
saying
man.
that at all.
I'm saying you didn't have to televise this. Because that's not a literal good look, right? Do whatever you want with this man. But then you forcing them on your friends, your new friends. These not even your real good friends. You left the house and they was cackling about how you look stupid.
In your house.
In your house. It just doesn't make any sense. You didn't have to have him film. You didn't have to. None of us had to ever know about this man. None of us had to know about it. So I'm not even mad that you're trying to move on and explore with this messy situation. But then you publicized it, which makes you look even worse because also he's still married. And then also, who jumps into a whole life with a person, not having a relationship with the kids, not having a...
Why would you want to?
It's just weird.
How you know he didn't give birth to the Omen? Or what's that dial that was in the that dial? I said this dial before, y'all.
What,
Meg and a Meg or whatever the hell her name. Oh, what about the adoption one? Y'all remember that movie? With the one where she was like really 100 years old, but she looked like a little kid?
Yeah.
Why? Y'all not worried? You don't know who you bringing into your house.
Do you even know, because they have kids, the ex-wife is going to be a staple in his life. She's not going anywhere. They're not just getting a divorce and never seeing each other again, right? So now you need to have some type of relationship and rapport with the ex-wife.
You didn't even think to build a rapport with the ex-wife?
It's so...
Or you couldn't do that in 12 days.
You didn't have time to do it in when you're speed marrying.
But explain to me what the conversation was y'all was having that was so good.
They was in the pods. It was Love is Blind.
But you know what? The problem with this whole situation, I would have loved to see just dating this man and hanging out with this man and just getting
anybody else, not this man. This man is not a flex.
I think.
But what you're saying, like, but another man.
Yeah, because what I'm saying is I want her to be happy, right, with whomever.
Right.
Or whatever, you know what I mean? Whatever, girl, whatever. But on God, y'all just be wanting a piece of me.
And you're not being an allegation of it.
And you're not being an allegation. It really was hard for me to watch. Specifically as a black woman, I see MM. I think MM is a good looking woman. She got a lot going for her. And other people can see that. You know what I mean? And we like to think that women are the ones who will be out here being the users in the world and everything like that. But men are capable of that too. And I feel like you in such a vulnerable place. Was this the move that we should have been making at this moment?
Yeah, it's just...
It was a million things you could be doing right now.
I know.
You could have been on your Eat, Pray, Love. Child, I would have went to Italy, France. I would have been all over the Mimi-Town world just eating and figuring my life out. Just like I wish for you pussy by the pound too, MM.
But different.
You know what I meant?
Yeah, okay.
the point is that I wish that for you. Like, I wish for you to go out and experience things and really figure out, one, why you chose to do this experience, where you think you could have grown from it, how you think you could have grown from it. And that don't have to take long, don't get me wrong, but it just felt like
you're not healed from this.
12 days.
Whatever experience that you had with Kechi, it's very clear that you are not healed from it. And I'm talking about back then. I'm going to take y'all behind the curtain a little bit. When we filmed the after party, one of the things me and Zar talked about to each other was how we felt like MM was still carrying that shit. Do you remember us talking about it?
Oh my God. And I didn't even realize she had, by this time, I think she's married.
Who knows? But the fact of the matter is, I remember at this time, we don't have any knowledge of this man, right?
Oh,
I remember saying to
God.
Zar, I feel bad for MM because I can feel that this is still affecting her. This was a year later. I remember we had no knowledge of this man. I remember just being in MM's presence and thinking, this girl is really effed up about this.
And I felt really protective of her.
Because you can feel that she wasn't over it.
And I still do. I don't want to say that like I'm taking it. I still do.
But in the moment, it felt even more
It was
visceral.
palpable.
Because her feelings and her emotions and her energy was palpable. She was still messed up. She was still broken about this.
I am outdone. I really felt like this whole episode was a cringe fest.
It was so unserious.
If you wanted to make us feel uncomfortable, put on Fear Factor. We didn't need to be sitting here watching these people make terrible decisions. And the truth is, you could have just replaced this with the start of the reunion.
Yeah, because also I already told y'all the one thing I don't need is a bunch of, filler episodes about single people. I do not care. We don't care. That's not why we watch a show called Married at First Sight. It's not Single at First Sight.
It's not.
Or Single After All. Or see where they at while they single. I don't care. I don't care how Carla is healing. Carla and Michelle go out on a date together. I don't care. I don't want to see this. The fact of the matter is that we don't watch this show to watch single people date each other.
But you're absolutely correct.
That's not why I didn't watch the show wondering, I wonder how Camille and Madison are going to get along when they go out on a girls' night. I don't care. I don't have no issue with Carla. I don't care how she feels about, doing girls' nights with Madison and MM. Or I don't care. That's not why you watch the show. Literally. So to me, it just feels like a waste of time when we get these episodes where half of it is catching up with people in their single journey.
How did you feel about MM and Brandon meeting MM's cousin?
I thought watching MM's cousin in that moment validated everything I said and every issue that I had with him from the beginning of the show. Because the energy that he had, this man don't even got a pot to piss in. And he had less energy for this man than he had for Ikechi, who
had a nice apartment, BT Dubs.
1,000%. I mean, he had way less energy. This man is not only living on somebody else's couch, but also still married, asking for his cousin's hand in marriage. What kind of weird mess is that?
It's so odd.
The whole episode gave unserious life.
Wait, did he ask for her hand in marriage?
Yes, at the table in this weird restaurant that was kind of cool, but also kind of weird.
It made me uncomfortable. That too made me uncomfortable. Everything in this episode was bothering me.
It really was. She was snapping. He goes to the restaurant and then says, well, I know you, so I know how you feel about your cousin. So I just want to make sure, you know what I mean, that I'm serious about this. I'm serious about this. You got a whole nother wife and you got a whole family and you currently don't have a place to live. How serious can you be about his cousin?
Be serious about the kids.
How serious can the cousin be about protecting her when you had more energy for the person that she signed up to marry at first sight?
You gonna have me naming this the Lady and the Tramp, because why is you outside picking up strays?
Strays, real strays.
Like, explain it to me. I just really do not understand how you got here. Joe said something last night that tickled my soul when this man got down on his knee. And y'all know Joe not normally funny, so it must be my hormones.
Only she says that.
I was cracking up. He gonna say, I guess MM felt like I'm leaving here with
I'm like, I'm leaving here with something. I'm from around the way. I'm leaving with something.
Literally. It
And it's leaving here with something.
It just gave, I'm leaving here with something. Like, I don't really care if it's Ikechi, it could be Juan, it could be David. Like, I'm leaving here with something. And that's not how I wanted to see her go out.
I did not. It really bothered me. It really bothered me. Madison and David go out on another date. He stamps on the cup.
Oh, my Lord.
They bring her out an espresso martini, Madison. And David has on the espresso martini, or the production company, who knows. You look so good, I just want to eat you up.
That was diabolical.
Disgusting.
I mean, I hollered. I didn't catch
Joe
it at
was
first.
tickled and kicking his feet.
Because y'all are serious. Because y'all are, I don't care. I don't care.
None of this,
I don't care.
and I find it to be terrible.
I don't care. The same way Michelle don't care. I don't care. I don't care. The way that they are unserious about this season, I'm very unserious.
It
too.
just
It
went
tickled me.
unserious way
I
too
laughed
fast.
the whole time when I seen the top of the espresso martini. First of all, David, reach out. Tell me, how do I get it? Because I want to write my wife messages on her espresso martini glass too. That was amazing.
I would love an espresso martini.
Also, it spoke to the type of petty that I am. He put the saying on the espresso because I'm super
what's
petty.
David's sign? We gotta know that because that's very petty.
That is very petty.
And it's really kind of ugly, Hagi.
And I resonated with it.
We know.
So I literally, I need to know how you got that. Because I literally was talking to Zar, so they would have had to make something like a stencil.
But y'all, it was too much.
First of all, y'all know I'm the mixology in the family. I'm the mixologist in the family. So I'm also figuring out, come Christmas, I need to know, I want to set my cookies up. I can write shit in the foam, in the espresso martini. I need to know. Let me know, David.
They've been dipping and doing for 117 years. This young woman turned 30. It's very clear that you've been laying it low and spreading it wide, okay? For months. They are far too comfortable with each other to be.
But tell me this.
You about to get punched in the mouth. What you about to say?
You don't think David is a little giddy? He is a little giddy. He a little nervous giddy.
Yes, I do think so.
You know what I mean? I
think it's unfortunate.
It is unfortunate because I'm not gonna lie. I think that had all things being equal, it would have been cool to see David with his own wife.
Yes,
you know what I mean?
yes.
I think that could have been fun to watch. Like I said, I watched this show not to find out what Carla's single journey is like. I watched the show because I like to see people fall in love, and I like for people to experience what I've experienced, and I don't have the ability to make that happen for my friends and loved ones. I really feel, I had a conversation with Zar about this a long time ago. I really feel bad that I can't throw on to my friends and loved ones the love that I feel and the experience that I felt in meeting my person, right? I want that for them so badly. And for the people who don't have it, I be wanting to I just want to see it happen for them. So that's a part of why I'm always intrigued and I'm into these shows, because I like to see that happen for people.
Yeah.
And it would have just been nice to see David feel so light and so giddy and so into the process. About somebody that in a situation that was okay for us to be happy to see. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And I think eventually, I'm going to be honest, probably by the time the reunion comes on, I'll be over this.
Right.
And I'll be excited for them to bask in their love and all that stuff like that. But right now, they ruined the season for me. Yeah. But by the time they get to the reunion, next week or the week after, I'll be over it. I feel like, because I think you're right. I think that, you're still allowed to love. Because
David is in love. I don't give a fuck what y'all. David is in love. I don't know what.
And it's very clear. No, I think they said I love you to one another.
They did. And I believe them.
Child, I'm still mad. All right. Let's move on. I know I said I was going to get over it, but I'm here still. They go to Thomas's birthday party.
Which, I'm sorry to Thomas. Because the birthday party was about everybody and everything but Thomas.
Child. MM show up with her man talking about, I'm engaged. We getting married.
But also, don't do that at Thomas's birthday party.
If it was you, it would have been a problem. You gotta go.
It would have been smoking.
It would have been. You already know. I don't even play that. No.
Because Zar don't even like when people propose to people at other people's wedding.
That's a law. It's against the law.
So many people do it though. So many people do it. And It is like a little bit of like read the room.
If you would have to know. Like if I'm your girlfriend and I got the knowledge, like, oh, when you do this, I'm gonna toss it to you, or you talking to the fiance, I'm cool with it.
It's still not the day for it though.
But I feel like on his birthday, and we're celebrating our love, you want to bring this unserious bullshit in here, and I mean that with all due respect. I mean it with all due respect. This man, you went and got you
a rent man. Where do they even sell these dudes at?
The problem I have with it is that the level of seriousness this man had while there was so alarming to me. Like he was a part of the cast.
He was a part of the cast, which was also just weird. What are you doing,
and
bro?
I kind of took umbrage with that because you're supposed to be playing the background. And I say that from a space of being married to somebody who's a musician. When we go out, he know. I'm like literally, I'm so far in the background, he got to come look for me. Because I'm not about to be like out there feeling like I need to be the center of attention and this is your stage. Does that make sense?
But now imagine that these people have been filming for weeks. They all know each other. Nobody in the room knows who you are.
Including that man.
Including your fiance. And then the ex is also there. He's staying up, go find Ikechi. Ikechi can care less. I just want you to know, because you didn't know before, that I'm M's fiance. Ikechi said, that's nice. Congratulations. Y'all are not beating the allegations. Ikechi really wants to be divorced from this whole process, but as well as being divorced from MM. And now the guy is coming over there, like trying to insert himself, and he's like not wanting to engage him either. It just is really awkward.
Right thing. Okay. The problem is at the point in which I'm agreeing with anything that Ikechi has done, it's really some problems out here.
1,000%, because the way that resonated with me, I don't give a damn who you are, sir.
I do not care. I wish you understood the depths of my non-caring.
It's deep.
You look stupid. As a matter of fact, you look stupid. And that's what he should have said.
That's what he should have said.
He should have mouthed it to her. You look stupid. That's what he should have did. You still look dumb.
But he don't even care. The one kudos I'm going to give to Ikechi is, at this point, and also at many a times recently, he is not giving you the opportunity. He's not giving you the satisfaction. He's not.
And you've learned nothing from that.
You've learned if you don't take anything else from Ikechi, the way he walked in there, literally gave nothing and then walked out. He's done that for the past. It's also a demerit because he also gave nothing, but it's also a strength of his. Like, he's not about to give y'all, I'm crashing out every episode.
At all.
I'm not about to fight this man who I just met, who she also just met. What was that supposed to be?
It's so silly to me. It is. If a man buys her a ring before he buys himself, puts a down payment on the apartment or anything like that. So another just tactic of how he is unserious.
Yes. And then proposes at this. He didn't even get the.
Joe didn't like that. I thought it was kind of cute. But
no, you did not think it was cute. You know why?
You always tell me what I'm not thinking.
Because she get up here in front of y'all and tell so many
Joe,
stories.
I didn't say it was cute in the moment.
You also didn't say that when I pointed out that you are the effort queen and there was no effort in that proposal. You didn't agree with me?
No, I'm not the effort queen. I like.
No. Yes, you are. See, she get up here and she do this two-faced thing with y'all, and I'm not going to allow her to do it because she's also I don't need it to be blah, blah, blah. I just want some thought put into it. There was no thought put into that. He literally bought something. Before he took the tag off of it, he got on one knee and proposed to her. No effort in how he was going to do it, his outfit, the day, the environment, anything. There was no effort in that. I also don't want that for MM. Why is the bar in hell? Why is the bar in the basement?
Hell. The basement is far too high.
It's just weird. The whole thing is weird and unserious.
The problem what I have with it too is that it moved so fast.
Which also,
it was like one episode.
You don't have time to give thought or effort to it when you buy the ring and in the same minute you do the proposal.
Exactly.
Who wants a proposal like that? Fly by night, random.
Even though I would love
Stop it. All she do is just, she lived to tell these stories.
Why you don't let me tell my stories?
Because they don't be true. Zara's been hot. Way less. She's been hot and I promise y'all. Y'all know, if y'all know me, y'all know I'm telling the truth right now. She's been piping hot over way less. Imagine me buying a ring and then being, not even taking the tag off of it and being like, all right, Here you go. Marry me.
I did write something down here, and I wrote this as a thought. Like, I wonder if Ikechi and Michelle really were tapped into their intuition. Because these, and I mean this for all due respect, I think Ikechi treated MM terribly. But I also am seeing how MM is, and I can't tell if MM is being reactive to how he treated her or if this is how she acts.
Well,
and I feel the same way about David. I can't tell because you've done something so insidious, David, not MM, that I can't tell if this is a reaction to Michelle or is this something that just was in you to do. I can't tell.
the problem with the MM situation is this is what Ikechi was describing. That's the problem with it. He was describing it, and we thought he was a liar. We just thought he was bullshitting the whole time.
I still think you can't treat people that way in the same way.
1,000%.
You know what I mean? I still think you can't treat people that way.
Two things could be true. You can both be like in most situations where there's conflict. The conflict was yeah, right. But at the same time, he was saying this before we saw it. She beats a dead horse. She constantly hit me with the answers.
But then she apologized again at the bar. Why do you even feel like you need to address this, man?
This is the beating a dead horse allegation that she's never going to beat, right? Keiichi is like Juan in the way that he just want to be cordial. Like, okay, we can say hi, we can say bye. He greeted her the last episode too, greeted her, hugged her, whatever. But he don't want to even the whole can we go talk? No, I subscribe today. I just told y'all I don't need closure king. Why do we need to talk? We done. Me and you don't have kids. We don't have assets. We don't got to split up property. None of this stuff. What do we have to talk about? That's the closure part y'all be girlfriend and boyfriend for 6 months and then want to do closure for another 6 months. For what?
Joe is a Pisces.
I just don't understand it. And so when I see people like Alan, who's like, we don't have nothing to talk about. When I see people like Ikechi, no, we don't have to go off and have a one-on-one in the corner. For what? You here with your man. That's awkward.
Alan outside fucking bitches and getting money. If y'all was curious about what he was up to since I didn't say nothing about him. Well, he said he out here doing his thing, you know.
He said he was trying stuff sexually, which I don't know what that means.
I didn't know what that meant either, but it made me uncomfortable. He said, I'm on the sites, and I was thinking, which one? I was like,
I don't even want to know.
That's why I didn't bring it up, because I'm like, I don't even want to, you keep your little nasty self over there.
Go forth.
I got to go eat the second half of my sandwich. Okay. I've been thinking about it this whole time. I feel insulted.
Yeah, because it gave TLC much more than it gave Lifetime. You know what I mean? I don't know if it's saying much.
Yeah. But and next season, I wanted to give Peacock.
And it better give Peacock. It better be Peacock.
Because we don't watch the Couple of Thruple on Peacock.
Yes, we did.
Traitors. You're a little too...
Listen, Couple of Thruple was y'all. If y'all haven't seen
it, was very good.
Let me tell y'all, it's intense. They got a voting process too. It's like Survivor.
It's
crazy.
So
if you haven't seen Couple of Thruple on Peacock, when you go to watch Married at First Sight on Peacock next season, just go mosey over to Couple of Thruple and check it out.
All right, y'all. Thank y'all so much for joining us again. We're gonna see what's hitting for it with this reunion. But wait, before I go, Ikechi again said, no. She tried to apologize.
Bro,
he was like, no.
He's tired, bro. And I'm also tired. The problem is I'm resonating with the villains because the villains are tired, but so am I.
It tickled me so bad when he did that. Thank y'all for joining us again. Let us know what you guys are thinking about this episode of Married at First Sight. Did we need it? Did we not need it? Can we just get to the reunion, please? I hope you guys enjoyed The Conner's Couch. I'm your girl, Intisar Eleanor. This is my beautiful husband, Joseph, and we are out of here.
Peace.
Bye.